Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I'm going to do my ASMR voice for you guys today, so if you don't learn anything, at least you'll fall asleep nicely afterwards. Alright, so a subscriber asked me to look into Kinobody's new video about his blood work and his testosterone results, and I know there's going to be some fanboys who are going to come in and say, you know Jason, you pronounced that wrong. It's Kenobi, kind of like Obi-Wan Kenobi. And you guys are going to argue semantics with me, and that's why we can't have nice things in the fitness community. Let's talk about the real subject here, not my pronunciation or my hearing impairment. Let's talk about his blood work. Now, I went and watched the actual video. I sat through this 20-minute video and listened to him, listened to his doctor, looked at the things that she read out loud for us, and I'm sorry, I'm not particularly impressed. Now, I'm not going to knock the man as a businessman. He's actually quite a good businessman. He markets himself extremely well. I can't knock him for that. I myself believe in capitalism. I believe in entrepreneurship. And you guys know that I also don't believe in selling workout programs, though. I think paying money for workout programs that aren't customized for people who are not advanced athletes is a waste of money. The best programs are free. They've been free for generations. I put out free programs that tens of thousands of people have run, got amazing results. They're free. If you're paying $50 or $100 for a program and it is not from a coach who has custom written you a program and updates it every week, and you're not competing at the elite level in something, like you don't have any medals or anything, you don't have like a contract for money on the line, probably a waste of money. You can get something free that will do just as good, if not better. And it's not saying there's anything wrong with this guy's programs. They're actually decent. But they're not worth money. I wouldn't pay for them. Now, that aside, let's talk about his using this as proof of his natty status. So essentially what we have, he said, hey, I'm the only person on YouTube doing this. Yes, you are, but that doesn't mean that it's anything special, my friend. You are doing your blood work once every 3 months, and your doctor read two numbers for us, your total testosterone and your estradiol levels. Well, that's not really indicative of anything. There was no metabolite test. There was no T to E ratio. We didn't see your luteinizing hormone. We didn't see anything that would tell us if you had suppressed your endogenous testosterone production. We couldn't see all of your blood work. Unless you're willing to put on the screen screenshots of the full printout of all of your sex hormones, every hormone related to sexual function or sex hormones in humans in any way, for other people to look at who actually know what they're looking at, this isn't indicative of anything. Meaning, I could have just walked in and pinned the amount of testosterone needed in the normal range and just followed my doctor's prescription and not added any special goodies of my own in. And I could have got the exact same blood results you did. But because my prescription is testosterone cypionate, had they made me take a urine test, I would have flagged dirty. I would have pissed dirty and come up positive for testosterone cypionate under a drug test. Well, I could have got the exact same results that he got on this blood test. I'm not natural. My prescription would have given me the exact same results. So it doesn't mean anything. And the fact of the matter is, where's the rest of the stuff going on? You could be on 7 or 8 different drugs, concurrently get those same results. And the thing is, there's lots of things that, would even show there. For example, it only looked at estrogen and testosterone. What would prevent you from taking Anavar? What would prevent you from taking growth hormone? What would prevent you from taking any number of peptides ranging from GHRPs to IGF-1 to mechano growth factor? None of that was measured on anything that we saw. And as far as even something like Anavar, that'll show up as DHT. Where was your DHT number? That's what people have accused this guy of using. I've seen more than a few people accuse him of looking like he's on a little Anavar and clenbuterol. Nothing in that blood work would have told you if he had actually taken those right before walking in and getting his blood drawn. So it's not evidence of anything. And again, people could argue, well, you see signs of suppression. Not really. He could just put synthetic testosterone back in to hit those numbers. And that's the thing that really bothers me, was that he ultimately had healthy range testosterone while claiming he's 7% body fat in the same video. Are you lying about your body fat percentage? Do we have DEXA scan results? Because healthy young men who drop to 7% body fat don't generally have testosterone levels in that range. They will usually drop also. Your testosterone should have been lower than that at 7% body fat. That is an unhealthy range. Now, I didn't see him shirtless or anything. I just saw him in a t-shirt. He didn't look to be 7% body fat. So, what's going on here? We have someone frauding about their body fat percentage, or are they just lying about their testosterone levels in the thing? I don't know. But to me, that's a big problem. The fact that he has estrogen in the low normal range and testosterone in the middle of the normal range while claiming to be 7% body fat, that's rare. And in fact, here's the problem with that. If you actually produce those numbers and really are at that body fat percentage, that's a very rare set of genetic traits. So if we're talking about, well, just training and diet have given you the results, no, you have a very, very rare set of genes that allows you to continue to produce healthy range testosterone levels while being emaciated. That actually isn't normal. That makes you genetically elite in certain ways. So your methods may not work for the average Joe as well if you're using what you use on yourself as your own programs to sell to other people. That's a problem. And what I'm going to say next is it might upset a few people, but we've got to be honest here. If we're going to present evidence of something and say, hey, here is my proof of something, your proof needs to be open to scrutiny and you need to do it right. And some people will say, well, that would be really expensive. I'm like, yeah, but he's the one saying it's proof of something. If you're going to claim something as proof, you need to be willing to spend the money to actually do the proof right. If you wanted to prove that you were completely anabolic steroid free, not drug free, this isn't going to tell us all anabolic drugs, but just specifically anabolic steroids and testosterone derivatives, which is usually what people are looking for. This will exclude all the growth hormones and everything else. Those, you'll pass this just fine. But if you wanted to do that, you would need to, for an entire year, come in and donate blood every single week and put full photos up, unaltered photos, where people can see the printouts of all of the hormones, not just your testosterone and estrogen, because someone who's on synthetic testosterone in the normal range is going to produce those exact same numbers we were given. Like, what we saw is not indicative of not using anything. It just means you're currently in the normal range on specifically testosterone and testosterone derivatives that are subject to aromatase activity, so that your estradiol was in the normal range. But the estradiol being in the low normal range is almost suspicious as well, but I'm going to leave that alone. That's a whole nother topic. But that being said, that's the only way you can do that. You need to actually let us see your LH, luteinizing hormone, FST, all of these other things, so that we can see if there's any actual suppression of your endogenous production. We need to see the full hormone panel if you want to use your blood work as proof of anything, because that exact blood work numbers we were given could be purely synthetic. You could actually literally be injecting everything that we saw in the blood work and still get those exact same numbers. It doesn't actually mean anything. So unless we can see the full hormone profile and see it weekly over a prolonged period of time, this was just a propaganda video. This is just a video he made to try to claim he's Natty, to boost his market, to draw in a better audience and make his fans feel better about following him and liking him. Now, is it a great marketing tactic? Absolutely. It's a fantastic marketing tactic, because most people are ignorant. They don't actually know these things. They don't know anything about these substances to that degree. And so you're going to rope in a lot of people, and they're going to say, hey, there we go. It's proof that this guy is completely clean. There's no drugs involved. He really knows what he's talking about because he's in great shape. And again, it's a marketing strategy, but it is a marketing strategy. It's not actual evidence, even remotely weak evidence, to show that he isn't on anything. And that's the problem. Evidence has been presented that isn't actually even decent evidence, and it's going to be touted as proof. And he's like, I'm the only one doing this. Well, I should hope so, because it would be a waste of time for anyone else to do this. So that's the concern we have. But you know what? Some people would argue, the other people would argue the point of social Darwinism, that, hey, maybe he's doing the world a favor, because if people are this silly and this naive to be this willfully ignorant, and I've heard this line of logic used before, by the way, from people inside the industry, but if people are this willfully ignorant, we can take money away from them. And if they have less money, to spend on resources, they're less likely to actually have sex with a woman and reproduce, and therefore their stupidity might not get passed on. Now, I don't personally agree with that line of logic, but I have heard that proposed. So some people would argue that this sort of tactic is actually fantastic, but it's not ethical and it's not honest. And we really have a problem with that inside the fitness industry in general. You guys know my stance on this industry. It's one of the most unethical industries I've ever seen outside of oil, natural gas, and maybe drug cartels, and the Clinton administration. All right, but that aside, guys, this really isn't evidence of anything. I hope none of you looked at this and said, wow, this is proof, because now that I've kind of broke it down, it actually isn't proof of anything at all. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.